Real estate investors, what are your thoughts about realtors given the current climate? I really want to know how real estate investors, particularly SFH, feel about realtors' brokerages. Are they needed? Do they get paid too much per transaction? Personally, I think it's crazy that realtors draw up template contracts in a lot of places. Investor here. At 5-6 straight. I think it's insane. I'm in a region that does a tiered structure typically. So 6 on first 100K, 4 on second 100K, and 2 on the rest. Median SFH price is around 450K here. So if you sell a 200K condo, you're paying a fair bit still. But if you sell a 500K or 1 house, the difference in commission between the two is minimal. It's still a lot, but I wouldn't want to deal without a realtor, so it's just a cost of doing business. Because we deal in volume, we get a break on the commission. When the tide goes out, it is easy to see who is swimming without a suit. Warren Buffett. You will see a lot of agents go belly up. I don't use them anymore, so I can talk the seller down more. I just pay a real estate attorney to look over the contract for $500. Edit. I don't use a buying agents, but usually have to use the seller's agent. I'm both. And realtors are overpaid. I'm going to start a flat fee brokerage and a billable hour management company because the gouging is nuts. As a realtor, I'm encouraged not to be a cost competitor. The NAR sucks. I mean, they sold, and all the tools we use are being bought up and broken apart to be sold to us. The dumbest, least helpful person involved in the transaction getting the highest fee. It is absurd, and the only reason commissions are so high is people believe that realtors are the only option. I'd think within a few years alternatives will become available. The profession is completely antiquated and no longer necessary. Companies like Zillow will eventually be able to do everything a realtor does for a flat fee. Probably $500 or so. The days of these clowns getting 20 grand for writing up a contract will soon be over. Realtors are fraud. You get nothing for them. I got sued for them misrepresenting my property to the buyer. Despite his signature on disclosures my expert said were flawless. $450,000 later in legal fees, and finally just settled to avoid a trial with 12 jurors who never owned a property. Use a lawyer to buy and sell. Realtors are fraud. I am pretty satisfied with my realtor. I gauged my home at an appropriate price. They said I should instead list it at 100K more because of recent activity. They were right. I ended up getting more than I would have on my own, even after paying out $65K in commissions. My last deal I decided to self-represent. Have used agents on everything beforehand. My terrifying realization was that I had less stress and less work. Additionally, the seller was more willing to give me considerations because they weren't paying my agents $20,000 fee. Thinking back to the hundreds of thousands in commissions I've paid, plus all the interest on the mortgages for those commissions, I'd be retired. The industry is too archaic. Buying-selling should be done through Zillow. Showings should be open house-based. Title and attorneys should do the paperwork. I have always been happy to use them on the rare occasion I sell. For acquisition? Because I don't use what are considered traditional methods, they simply get in the way. They are an unnecessary expense and kill transactions out of ignorance. An attorney who specializes in real estate can do more and less costly. Yes, they make too much. I think it should move to more of a flat fee. There is no more work selling a $300,000 home or a $600,000. Especially if you spent years in that home or spent a tens of thousands renovating. Example, you paid $250 10 years ago, put 30 into and sell it now for $350. You can now profit $70,000. And then agents will get about 18,000 of that. They're now getting 25 of your profit for very little work in my eyes. Like a good mechanic. When you find a good one you hang on tight. Mine always negotiates better than me so that she saves me money above and beyond her commission. Always thought realtors were a useless job. Especially if you're in the industry. Only benefit is early access to deals, but really it should just be open market. Way overpaid for what they do, especially on the sell side. I do think the change will have a negative impact on first-time home buyers who often want to see 10 houses before offering purchasing. With an entry-level house, the buyer's inexperience and the amount of showing time required, I could see it getting expensive for them, e.g. charging a flat rate for each showing that's not an open house. But overall this is long overdue. It's a seriously overpaid industry. The average home in my region is $1.5 million. That's $45,000 per agent. Maybe that makes sense for the listing agent. But a buyer's agent these days puts very little work for that commission. Less than 80 hours, $562 hour. I've worked with a lot of agents. I can think of one who would deserve such an hourly bill rate. I have my license, but I still occasionally use an agent to list and sell properties. I represent myself on the buy side, with oversight by my attorney. I am an investor. I buy bank-owned foreclosures. It makes no DF to me because I never have paid anywhere near the market standard in terms of commission. My realtor has always charged about 1% due to volume me and my family gives him. Also, he works with all the real investors in my area, so the quantity he gets from the price break makes up the percentage. At this point, they add no value to me. I know the neighborhoods I buy in. I know the rents. I know the good value. I know better and worst pockets in my area. I can see all I need on Redfin, Zillow. In CA, the only thing they do is complete the purchase agreement and disclosures. The heavy lifting on paperwork is done by escrow. When I want to buy, I have agent that does buy side for one. I went and got my license. I still negotiate down, get the max credits I can. And now I usually get a 2.5 to 3 commission as the buyer's agent. Over the years, the deals I'm buying are larger and those commissions, even though only once or twice a year, are getting larger. Took me a 2-week night course like 6 years ago and $800 a year to stay in my association and have MLS access. Always seemed like a no-brainer to me, and I wondered why a lot more didn't do it. Now things are changing a bit, so who knows how it will work in the future. Politicians that invest in stocks and make policy should be the ones in focus, not go-getters. The absolute first profession that needs to be eliminated on earth is realtors. Next is car dealerships. Leeches. I have almost no respect for realtors. Work for a major pay firm. I don't care what the market pays. I pay my listing agent $1 unless it is a higher buck home, then it goes down and I offer 2 SOC, so I am paying under 3. I offer quality products so buyers buy in my places, sell it or above the comps. If you are an active investor and you're paying 6, you're doing it wrong in my opinion. My agent sends me a text about once a week to see if I found something she can show me. In 6 months she has never sent me a listing or recommended a house. This makes absolutely no sense. I have to go find my own house. Every realtor I've dealt with seems desperate and pushy, like a used car salesman. No man. I'm not paying over asking for a fixer with a 30 years old roof in a flood zone.